How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about BBIG. And I must say, it was fairly strong on the Friday given the conditions. We had a lot of panic. We had a lot of fear that was happening due to the fact recent news about a new variant that is coming in. Many stocks pulled back and BBIG was able to hold up the $3 level, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. Now we have to look forward to see what happens going in on the Monday, and it's part of the reasons why I'm putting this video together so you have somewhat of a sound strategy. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know those key levels in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. The reason why the short interest is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as on the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for BBIG. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $3.28, being down 1.80%. On the low, it tested $3.02, and then on the high, testing $3.31. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 8.82 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 17.221 million shares. So one thing that you can notice right away, we ended up having well below the average in overall volume, but that is no surprise since we did have a holiday week. We also did have a short day on the Friday, plus more volatility in the markets due to the new variant that was spoken about. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 30.92. So it is in that oversold territory. And then when we take a look at the moving averages here on our chart, you can see we're below the 50-day, the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 200-day. So of course we saw a strong sell-off, but like I was talking about in my previous videos, I see a swing trade opportunity at BBIG being at $3, and we're seeing a continuation of $3 holding as support, and this has been going on for the past 3 trading days. So going into Monday, a move that I'd want to look for, we had resistance at 331, so most preferably I would like to see us get above $3.43. If we are able to do this, then the next level will be right here around 357, and if we're able to pass 357, that's where I'm going to be looking for the gap fill. So that is the bullish case scenario. If it decides to break through $3 in regards to a bearish case scenario, then of course I'm going to be looking forward to seeing some strength right here around 293 and also as well right here around $2.83. So this is where I would say, you know what, I would have my stop loss and make sure that I'm managing my overall risk. But for the most part, things are looking good for BBIG, and we didn't have that much of a pullback considering how the market conditions were. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for BBIG. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 30.39%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 1 million shares. As we scroll down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 350,000, updated 18 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 24.70%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 24th, which was the Wednesday that passed, it was at 28.05, and then for the close of the 26th, which was the Friday that just passed, it being at 30.39. So it did go up a bit, but one thing that is very clear, BBIG still continues to have short squeeze potential, and is part of the reasons why you want to keep an eye on this play and making sure as if you're going to be getting in that you're maximizing your overall entry. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for BBIG. So we can see here on the inflow, it was at 4,303, and then on the outflow is at 4,164. So we ended up having an inflow day. Definitely a good look to have on the Friday we just had. Now, when we take a look now at the breakdown on the large, it was 978. On the medium, it was 2,172. And then on the small, it was 1,154. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 657. On the medium, it was 2,328. And then on the small, it was 1,179. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see clearly we ended up having an inflow of 320.89 for the Friday that just passed. And we also did see an inflow on the 24th, which was on the Wednesday, at 167.31. On these 2 days, you could see there was a good amount of dip buying, and it wasn't only retail getting involved, but also institutions. When we take a look at the breakdown even further for the small scale orders, which represents the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. But keep in mind, it was very close. And when the market pulls back like these, many people are just going to sell. That is just a reaction. And when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we ended up having more selling than we had buying. But when we take a look at what happened on the large, which possibly could be institutions, we had more buying than we had selling. Institutions are loading up on shares and retail is selling. Again, do not get fooled here. When we take a look now at the turnover ratio, it is at 9.07%. So yes, this is up there, but one thing to keep in mind, there's a good amount of traders that are inside of this play wanting to take advantage of swing trade opportunities and as well as day trade opportunities. I also made some videos not too long ago. I think it was my previous video and the video before that, giving you guys a swing trade opportunity. Seeing, hey, how well can it hold up the $3 range, have an entry around 3, ride that momentum up, and then you could decide how much profits you want to get from there. And if you are still holding on to your position, things are still looking good for you. I'll talk further about where the stock could possibly go and the final thoughts. Let's not waste any more time. I'll actually get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for BBIG, there's a few things I want to go over very quickly. We have to pay attention to the market conditions. If we continue to have a pullback, of course, BBIG is going to be impacted by this. But one thing that we want to see that is very clear is it holding up the $3 area of support. When I was talking about a swing trade strategy, I was saying you could take advantage of this dip and ride the momentum up. Some of you have taken profits already, and some of you are continuing to hold on to your positions. As far as resistance is concerned, we want to see the stock actually fill in the gap. And in order for it to fill in the gap, it is around $3.77. So we want to see a move of BBIG being able to get above 350. So paying attention to these areas will give you a good idea of what your strategy should be. Of course, I can't give you guys financial advice, but again, we know on this channel, as far as gaps are concerned, they do get filled. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. We also do know there's still a lot of demand for BBIG shares, and I feel like as far as its overall performance on the Friday, on a choppy day inside of the markets plus a half day, it held up fairly well. So for the short term, let's see if we can have some price action above 342, get into the 350s, and then essentially make that move to 377 to see if we can fill that gap. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.